Hey there, so this is Reba of Team Reba, Remax Metro East Side, and today I want to chat with you about a so fascinating subject, sewer scopes. So yeah, I know everyone gets totally excited about sewer scopes. In fact, some of us are so excited, we're like, what is that? So I like to jokingly refer to these as the house colonoscopy. That generally gets most people's minds working and they go, oh, I think I understand what you mean by that. So what we really get into on sewer scopes, besides getting down and dirty, so to speak, sewer scopes are really important when you're buying a home, single family typically, but it could be on a multifamily property. And why is it important? Well, because 70% of the housing stock in America is 30 years or older. And usually they're recommended at least at that age of life in a home because here's the thing, Earth moves, right? We happen to live in the Puget Sound region, which is also in a fault zone. So we have issues around earthquakes here and there. And also just Earth can move. So what happens is all those things that are, put as a fixed item down in the ground, sometimes shift with it. So what you want to make sure and check out is that when you're buying this house, that it hasn't moved a whole lot and that you don't have breaks in your line, that you don't have tree roots binding it up, that you don't have chunks missing perhaps, because that's a possibility, depending on how well it's been maintained over the years. And you want to know what it's made of, because like an older house, we always say in our business here at Team Reba, houses are like history. Right? So if it's early 1900s, that house was probably not built with a sewer line originally. And so gosh knows what it's made out of. It could have had a house, excuse me, not a house. It could have had a bathroom added later, anywhere all the way up to 1960. Most people don't even know there was still about 20-30% of homes in the Puget Sound region without indoor plumbing. So this is a real deal, man. So you want to have it checked out. Homes built in the early 1900s frequently had clay pipes, and if they have never been changed out, it didn't have any breaks or anything, or a backup, I should say, that's usually the sign that most people need to get something done, is like suddenly sewage comes back into their basement or their first floor because something went wrong, right? And so you don't want that to be the time you find out that there's an issue, right? So, because that's no fun. That is absolutely no good. So you want to make sure when you're purchasing that everything works just fine. Plus, a house to be considered habitable has to have a working either septic or sewer system. So in fact, I can tell you for a fact, I've personally been impacted by sewer line issues on both the house I own and a house that I owned, but it was my neighbor's sewer line that had the problem, and their sewer line ran on my property. So you want to know where it goes, what kind of condition it's in. Does it need any maintenance? Does it need repairs? Because we've seen over time, and it can be all kinds of manner of level of work to be done. We've seen $1,500 to $30,000 worth of repair work needing to be done. So, and sometimes that's easy to negotiate and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's water pressuring out a line because there's a bunch of root bound type stuff in there. And it's not uncommon to have roots, because I mentioned clay, but there's also concrete. So they're look like little Legos just kind of connecting together. And so there's no, it's not like a full system like plastic piping can be, but even plastic piping is still going to have a seam somewhere along the line where there's pieces connecting together. So there's all kinds of situations where things can go wrong. And then of course, here's an even crazier one. Occasionally, some of the underground utilities accidentally get drilled through your line. That's actually a thing that can happen. So you really, really, really want to know. Now, here's the thing. There's a bunch of guys out there that do this for a living. Occasionally, there's inspectors, general inspectors, home inspectors who have this service. And there's some people who specialize just in the service. We have several people that we work with regularly and recommend. But you can always feel free to check out anybody online or through a friend or recommendation. But generally the cost we see anywhere currently running as low as $200 to as high as $400. So it also depends how long the pipe is, how difficult it is for them to get there. Can they get there from a A drain line, can they get there? And when I say drain line, meaning like there's a clean out of some sort where there's access. There's also, if they really can't find through there or an event, off, sometimes up in the roof, there's a pipe that comes out of the roof line in some homes, and that's a vent for the sewer line and for your bathroom, and sometimes they can put the camera through there. So these guys have to investigate everything. And then if they can't get there through those two forms, then another option is to have to pull a toilet, and then they have to reseat and seal that toilet, of course. So really depends on the age of the home, quality of the home, how many bathrooms are in that home, how well maintained everything has been, lots of different issues around it. So if you have questions, need some help, want a referral, please contact us at info@teamreba.com. And if you've gotten this message in an email, it's because we're trying to get you informed ahead of time, because you're either about to purchase or you're in your purchase, and we're recommending that you have a sewer scope done. So definitely get to know everything, because a general home inspector is not required to do this. The state does not have that in their limit of items that they're required to go through on a house. So protect yourself, get checked out, and we look forward to helping you with more of this process. Thank you.